it is Saturday afternoon and our kids finished swimming about 10 o'clock this morning. We did not vlog any of their swimming just because it is sometimes nice to watch the kids and not have to worry about where the camera is or anything like that. I am very happy to say they both made new personal records in all of their events, so dropping time in all of the events that they swam. They did not make state times, but that's okay. We are so proud of them. They haven't even been competitive swimming for a year yet, and for them to be 1 second off of a state time that close to state and not even swimming for a whole year is impressive, and we are so proud of them. They improved on all of their times, and that is usually when you're a competitive swimmer, what you're doing is racing yourself in the pool. So we are very happy. We had a lot of fun being able to stay up at Fort Collins. We drove up to Horsetooth Reservoir and got out for probably all of 5 minutes and got back in the car because it's really cold and overcast here today. We've got the two hard swimmers in the back. Hello. Say hi, guys.
Kenny.
Hi. And we've got the two dogs in the back. It's been interesting having them with us. And it's just been a great Friday night and Saturday morning all together. Right now, we are driving through Loveland, and we are gonna stop at one of Luke's favorite places to eat. In Lincoln, Nebraska, that's where Luke grew up, there was a restaurant called Runza.
They're only in Lincoln, Nebraska, except for one store in Loveland, Colorado. I thought it was in Fort Collins, but it's technically in Loveland. And we are about to go to that store. Yay! This is like my favorite Lincoln, Nebraska fast food that you can only get in Lincoln, except for this one store in Loveland. Everybody who has been to Lincoln or spent much time there probably knows about Runza. They do this thing in the winter, in the dead of winter, in the coldest days of winter, where they do something where if the temperature goes below freezing, or if it gets into the single digits or something like that, then that's the amount you pay for a Runza. A Runza is like a German hamburger, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a soft sourdough pastry that's stuffed, totally enclosed and stuffed with cheese and hamburger and cabbage and onion. It's just really good.
Look, and there's Runza.
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 Here's a quick look at the menu. So that's a Runza. That's what they look like, all the top row there. And their fries are really good too. Except some people I know that don't like their fries because they're not crunchy. I think Runza restaurants are only in Lincoln. They might be in Omaha, but they're very exclusive to
where they go.
That part of town. Yeah, and I don't know why they ever ended up here. But they've been here for quite a while. Okay. Because when we were here when we lived here in 2003-04, there was one up here.
Oh, okay.
And this must be the one. I had never come up here back then though.
So after the kids got done swimming this morning, we drove down next to the university. Colorado State University is where is up in Fort Collins. It was fun because I went to Colorado State University, and it was so fun to kind of drive around the campus and show the kids and just kind of reminisce, I guess, a little bit.
We've got the Runzas. They smell so good. This is what they look like. You can see there. It's just stuffed with, I'll crack it open, but it's stuffed with cheese and hamburger and onions and cabbage. Oh, there's another name for them. They're called Bay Rocks. Is another. But the only time I've heard that is that Jill's grandmother had a recipe that was very similar to Runza. It's like a homemade version of this. Yeah, look at that cheese. It's so good. The wrapper, the yellow wrapper means cheese Runza. The green wrapper means plain Runza with no cheese. I will say that the cheese is like not exactly great cheese. It's American cheese. I'm really not even hungry, but I just had to try it.
What Luke was saying is when I first met Luke, he's like, oh, you have to try Runza. And he took me there. I immediately told him, I said, I've had this before, but it's been homemade. When I was a little girl, my grandmother, Granny, I've talked about her a lot in my videos, would make these, and they're actually called bay rocks, is what my grandmother called them. I don't know if that was an Irish term because my grandmother is Irish. Granny's bay rocks were amazing, and anytime we found out she made them, we were over there in a second. But I would go over in the kitchen and she'd be rolling out the dough for the bread, and then she'd teach us how to stuff them and wrap them and bake them in the oven. And going in her kitchen and smelling the bay rocks, it smells exactly like the Runza. So it's like a warm memory for me too, walking into Granny's kitchen, smelling the bay rocks. It's kind of nice just to have that. Is it good?
I wish I was hungrier. I don't know if I can eat the whole thing.
You
but...
missed Kenya's first bite.
Oh, let's get Kenya's eating them. Was it good?
Yeah.
Describe it.
It's cheesy and savory. It's snowy.
We're gonna do a little question and answer before we end our weekend, okay?
Okay.
So the first question, Lincoln, what is your dream vacation spot?
I think it would be, what is it? Disney's private island.
Okay, that's your dream vacation spot?
Castaway Key.
Yes.
So Disney's Castaway Key, huh? Okay. Kenya, what about you?
Florida. Well, no, sorry, Hawaii.
Really?
Hawaii? Okay.
Lincoln, what is your most cherished possession?
Jesus.
Okay.
Wow.
Kenya, what's your most cherished possession?
My pets or my bear that I got 12 years ago, Nairobi.
Jill, how old were you when you got your first cell phone?
I was 24.
Ooh.
Wow.
How old
What?
are you?
She said that's old. Oh my gosh.
For getting a cell phone.
I got my first cell phone when I was 16.
Oh, that's
Wow.
still pretty.
Jill, what's the worst prank you ever played on somebody?
Wait, we're not going into our questions yet. We're still... Oh my goodness. The worst prank that I ever played on somebody was unfortunately my very own sister.
Oh,
I
know
remember
what
this
one.
one.
And my sister was
Terrible.
deathly afraid, like terrified of grasshoppers. And I went outside and I caught some grasshoppers and I stuck them in her bed. And she went to bed that night
screamed.
and pulled back the covers, and and I mean, she wasn't just afraid. It was like
Terrified.
a phobia
Yeah.
of them. And yeah, I think she was running out of the room. She hit the wall. It was really bad. I got in a lot of trouble.
Okay, I've got two. So my first one that I thought about was one that I mentioned in a comment on our Tribe of Many's recent post,
Oh,
which
what
is when
that?
I put frozen dog poo in either Heather or my sister's. So my sister's best friend was Heather, in either Heather or Sarah's shoes, and I think they found it before they put their foot in there, but
okay.
it was still pretty funny.
So
So we had to switch cameras, but there's one other prank that I pulled on some of the same people. So my best friend growing up, his name was Andrew. His sister was Heather, and Heather was also my sister's best friend. So the four of us hung out a lot. Well, Andrew, one time, this is only a couple years after I met him, we were on the back porch at my house, and we were just hanging out or whatever, and we were talking about the dog food. And for some reason, I got it in my head that I could pretend that I was eating dog food and convince him it tasted really good. And so so I kind of did one of those things where you kind of put it, you know, next to your mouth and then, you know, pretend you're eating. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's actually not that bad. You should try it. And so I got him to eat dog food. If you're watching, Andrew, which you're probably not, but if you are, I'm so sorry. It was awful. But I do remember him telling me that it tastes like spaghetti, which I thought was really hilarious.
Was it canned dog
No,
food?
it was like the
Dry-
crunchy kibble.
dry-
Like he's like,
dry dog
he's crunching on it and he's like,
Okay.
it's not too bad. Kind of tastes like spaghetti. And I'm like, I didn't really eat it. He's like, what? That was funny.
What is your best memory of a family event? Your favorite family
We didn't ask
event?
that. Alice.
Disney cruise. Which one?
Which one?
Which one? First one or second one?
Second.
Second one. And if some of you guys want to know about what he's talking about or see some of our memories of our most recent Disney cruise, you can definitely go back and check out our videos.
It's actually one of our playlists.
Yeah, it's on
All
a
the videos.
playlist on our channel. So it's the cruise that we just took in October.
All right, Kenya, most memorable family event.
I think it was taking a 6-hour flight. I don't know why, to Hawaii.
Oh.
Why was it memorable?
Because it was so long.
The flight?
And I couldn't stand it.
What if we go to Africa? How are you going to handle a long flight?
I couldn't
Like
even
a 12,
stand that it was
15-hour
5
flight.
hours. And I was restless. I could not.
I think she was just so excited that we were going to Hawaii.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know why, but it's one of my...
That's interesting that that's her most favorite.
Okay, he said memorable when he came to me.
Yeah, memorable.
Memorable. So favorite would be the first time we went to Hawaii. Like, I got on the
Hawaii?
island and we swam in the...
Oh my gosh, kids, this is an amazing photo.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, hold still. Oh, awesome. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this.
Swam through the waterfall.
He just swam through a waterfall. When did we go to Hawaii? Was it?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years already?
Yeah. Was it spring or fall?
The spring.
So I think my most memorable family event ever for us was the first time we went to Disney World. And seeing these two kids light up the way they did and meeting their favorite characters.
Oh
Lincoln
my gosh.
driving the car on the speedway. I mean, there was just so many, and we have a really good photo book of that trip.
Yeah.
That we look at a lot. Seeing their faces light up and seeing all that stuff for the first time. We also did I think a 7 or 8 day trip to Disney that time.
was 9.
So 9. So
Yeah, it
we
was
went
9.
to every park once and to 2 parks twice.
We let the
And we
kids
let the
at
kids
the
pick
end pick their
the
favorite.
park they wanted to go back
Yeah.
to. It was exhausting, but it was so fun to see Disney through, your kids' eyes. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It was a perfect age too.
Yeah, and Kenya met
Merida.
Merida from Brave, and it was like right after the movie had come out. So
Well, that was the
She
first
was-
Disney princess she ever
That's
met.
right.
That was, and it was like the park had just opened up, and right there, and it just Kenya's face was like,
Met Merida!
what did you think?
Oh my gosh!
Of course, taking them to some of the attractions that were maybe more the classic attractions that we loved when we were kids, like my favorite one, Disney's Carousel of Progress, which everybody thinks is the most
I
boring
love
ride.
that one.
I love that
Oh,
one.
you love that one?
Good.
Okay. But it's just like this, you just sit in a theater and it spins around and it sings the same song over and over again.
Well,
But
they like yours better than everybody. My favorite one of all time is It's a Small World, and you guys all are like, no.
yeah, that one's pretty hard.
It's true. I love it. It's whatever they sing,
Yeah.
and in different languages.
My second favorite isn't even a ride, but I like the music. I don't know if this is my second favorite Disney
Are we
ride.
talking Disney?
Yeah, but I really like the Tiki Room. It's like the classic Disney thing, and
It's
it
good.
actually, I think it's in Disneyland as well.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so it's just such a classic one. I like the classic ones, the
No,
things
and
that
I do
remind
too.
me
Pirates
of
of
Walt
the
Disney.
Caribbean
Yeah.
and Tiki Room and the Country Jamboree
Oh.
Bear. The bear. Yeah.
No, but the People Mover.
Oh, that's so much fun.
I used to call it the people pleaser.
Yeah.
Okay, we kind of got off on Disney here.
Okay. Speaking of Disney, what's your favorite Disney attraction?
What is it? Fast track?
Fast Track, right?
Oh, Fast Track in
Epcot.
no, it's in. Oh yeah, it is in Epcot.
Test Track.
Test Track.
Yes.
Yeah, Test Track is in Epcot. Is it, or is that in Hollywood?
No, it's in Test Track. You guys are thinking of the stunt show that's
Yes,
no longer at Hollywood Studios.
The stunt show is really
Sorry,
cool.
didn't mean
Test
to break your
Track
heart.
is in Epcot, and that is fun. Why do you like that? Just because it goes so fast? Yeah. Okay, Kenya, your favorite Disney attraction?
Can I do one from each part?
Nope, just one.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh, I'm stuck between Hollywood Tower of Terror and Mount Everest.
What about a rock and roller coaster?
And the Banshee ride.
Oh.
The what ride?
The Banshee ride!
Oh, the Avatar, the Flight of the Navi, or what is it?
Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's
and,
like a really
and
high-tech
Splash
ride.
Mountain.
Oh, that's probably your favorite, Splash Mountain.
Because I remember the first time we went, we were like 5 or 6.
I got wet.
We hid behind you and
Yeah.
we barely got
Yeah,
wet.
and you got all the water. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you guys ducks.
What is your favorite Disney attraction?
Well, of course, I love It's a Small World. And you guys, it's like torture for all of you.
Oh yeah, you said your favorite.
But my other one that I really like is the Jungle Cruise. I don't know why.
I love that one.
But
the Jungle Cruise director's always got all the like
I know,
silly one-liners
yeah.
that are
Like those cheesy jokes.
yeah, cheesy jokes. Yeah.
I would have to say though, coming off of like favorite family event memory is when we told the kids for the first time that we're gonna take them to Disney
We
World.
actually have that on video.
We do, which
In
maybe
fact,
we'll put right
No,
now.
it's on my YouTube channel that I started a long time ago. Yeah. Okay. So ready? Since it's our material, watch it now. Wait, today's Tuesday. What? April
3rd?
16th,
16th.
2012.
13.
Wait, and Lincoln, how old are you?
4.
Kenya, how old are you?
I'm 6.
Okay, so what's today again? What's tomorrow?
Wednesday.
What's the next day?
Thursday.
And what's the next day?
Friday.
Now, what are you gonna do on Friday?
Watch a movie all day.
No, you have school, right?
All night long.
You have school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when you get off of school, what are you gonna do?
Watch a movie.
Maybe. But Mommy and Daddy have something to tell you guys.
Yes.
On Friday after school. 1, 2, 3. We're going to Disney World.
Oh my gosh! Go celebrate! I can't wait! Oh my gosh! Thank you, everybody!
Listen, we're going for a whole week. We're going to all the parks. We're going to see everything there.
Oh my gosh! I can't! Thank you! You were the best! Here it goes!
Now, do you know why we've been watching Disney movies and talking about Disney World and asking you about your piggy bank?
Oh my gosh! You guys are the best! Yes!
Okay, so I have a question for Daddy. What do you miss most about being a kid?
Dad was a kid. I'm just joking.
You know what? This is an easy one. It was being able to eat unlimited amounts of food and never gain any weight.
Yeah,
Like
have repercussions.
I used to eat, like, when I worked, I had a very manual labor job when I was like 18 years old. And in that job, in between the heavy workloads, I would go on break and I'd run up to Subway, and I could literally get 3-foot-long cold cut trios, and I weighed nothing. I was skin and bones, and we get 3 foot-long sandwiches and eat all 3 of them in one sitting.
Oh my gosh.
That is so bad.
Or we'd go to Taco Bell and I'd get a 12-pack of tacos and eat them all.
Yeah, and it's nothing. Yeah,
And then
right.
all of a sudden, 23 years old, and then 24 years old. I married Jill at 23 years old, got an office job, and the rest is history. Oh, my metabolism changed all in 1 year. Yay. So my thing I miss most about being a kid was eating like crazy. They used to call me the garbage disposal at dinner because literally anything that was left in any bowl, they would just dump it onto my plate and I would eat it all.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you miss most about being a kid?
Ooh.
Me?
No.
I would say with my grandparents and how holidays were always fun, and it was a build up, and like I said, now I get to experience that with my own kids. But I miss being able to eat ice cream.
Yeah, see?
And not
Why does
have
it come
an
back to
issue.
food?
I know.
Let me just say,
It's so
kids,
bad.
right now, the thing you should enjoy most about childhood is food.
ice cream.
Well,
food.
but we tell them not to go overboard.
I know. No, you
But
can't.
why?
But you can't. But I would eat. When I say I was a garbage disposal, if it was a big bowl of peas or Brussels sprouts, I'd eat it all. I love food. So, yeah, I know.
I thought, what was that thing that your mom made you? Mom and Dad, what is the worst food your mothers have made you when you were a kid?
All right,
So
this
our
is
least
easy.
favorite meal that
This
our
is
moms
easy.
would cook.
There was some sort of beans on cornbread that we would put. Oh, ham and beans on cornbread that we would put maple syrup on, and it was so gross.
I was okay until you said maple syrup.
It was so gross.
What was going on
I don't know why I
there?
actually did that, but
Susan!
I actually really liked my mom's cooking, and it was a lot of casserole cooking and stuff like that, but it was good. I mean, I always enjoyed it, but there was just that one meal when I knew we were having that, it was and then there was also some dish that had water chestnuts in it.
Oh, I love water chestnuts.
I don't like water chestnuts. There's something about the texture really bothers me. So that was the worst too. But the funny thing is, Andrew, my friend growing up, he always talked about the thing that he hated, the meal that he hated the most was stewed tomatoes. And so I actually hated that meal for him because even though I never had it, it just sounded horrible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does sound horrible.
And
How can that be a meal anyway? It's just pour
So
ketchup in my mouth.
so you're saying she had cornbread, which wasn't bad. Ham,
It's like this.
peas. Then she
No, it's
added the worst.
No, it's
Pinto
like
beans.
beans. It's like beans mixed with ham mixed with maple syrup on top of cornbread. Ugh. It's
We had-
not good. Okay, what was your worst? So
The one that I knew if my mom was cooking, I was like, oh, I'm going to be so hungry all night, it was just horrible. And, well, there was 2 dishes, but the first one was Salisbury steak.
oh yeah, that was not a good one. I don't know if your mom's version of Salisbury steak was the same as my mom's, which was put a bunch of hamburger patties in a glass dish and just pour cream of mushroom soup all over them.
All over it.
I think that was the recipe in Betty Crocker. That's all it
should
was.
go get it.
And then you just put it in the oven.
It was
That's
horrible.
it. I actually kind of liked that one. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. That's for sure. Okay, what was the other one?
And then the other one was Swedish meatballs.
Oh, that would be good though, right?
No.
Oh wait.
It was weird because it was once again, it's ground beef, but it was made into meatballs. And then they would just pour this really weird, not good sauce. It was it's just gross. It was like tomatoes, but yet had this sweet stuff, and it was not good. It was so not good. I did not like it. So those
All right,
were my 2
favorite though.
Wait.
Since we're doing least favorites, I gotta
Okay.
say my favorite all-time dish that my mom would make was called chicken roll-ups, and it was I don't know how to describe it, but basically I'll give you the ingredients. It was like a tortilla shell. It had chicken, broccoli, tomato, or not tomato.
Yeah,
Tomato,
fresh
cream
tomatoes.
of mushroom soup, and
not that again.
the French fried onions and cheese. and then you'd stuff that into tortillas, and then put them all in a baking sheet or a baking pan, and then you'd pour cream mushroom soup on top, and then do the French fried onions and cheese on top, and then serve it with Tabasco sauce. Oh, so good.
What is with Nana and
Jill
cream and
makes
mushroom
it. Jill makes the same recipe for me because it was like after we got married, it was like the you always miss like one dish from your mom, and so Jill made it. Jill would add a lot more cheese than my mom, so of course it made it even cheesier. But
cheese is good on everything.
So, okay, what was your favorite?
My all-time favorite was my mom's chicken fried steak.
Oh yeah, I've had that before.
Good.
Very good.
Because she would do the chicken fried steak, and then she'd do the mashed potatoes, the homemade mashed potatoes, and the cream gravy.
White gravy, right?
White.
Yeah.
Cream gravy.
Oh, so good.
And I just loved like how she made the chicken fried steak.
Yeah.
We'd always call it's like the crunchy stuff on the breading, and we'd call it goodies. And Mom's like, "Do you want more goodies?" And I'd just be sitting there eating it all.
Yeah.
So it was
real healthy too.
Yeah, but we were on a ranch, so it was
worked
meat
it
and
out.
potatoes and everything.
Kenny asked a question about least favorite and most favorite dishes that your mom made. So, Lincoln, what's your question?
What's your least favorite cafeteria food at your public school you went to?
Oh, I didn't eat a lot of cafeteria food. My mom usually made me a bologna sandwich. Or, on a really good day, a liverwurst sandwich with mustard on it.
Actually, is that Wustenbrieger or whatever it is? I don't know what it is.
Braunschweiger.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Like the worst I guess was probably something like fish sticks or something.
Okay. Anybody
Did you
says
have a word?
cafeteria food like from
sloppy
school,
joe.
and to this day I can still the taste and the smell is turkey a la king. And it was horrid.
It was like turkey and carrots and
It was like
peas and
the squeezing. It was so bad. It was bad. And to this day, I still, because what they would do is they'd get that ice cream scoop, and I always hated it, even in the cafeteria when they used the ice cream scoop for the mashed potatoes. It's just wrong. It ruined my entire meal because I'd say, it's for ice cream. But they take this ice cream scoop shaped thing of rice, and then slap it on your tray, and then they get in the turkey a la king, and just, and it was just like,
it was slop. It was basically all the leftovers from that week.
But we shouldn't be complaining because we had food to eat.
Yeah, but basically all the leftovers from that week, they would just put it in a thing and cook it up and then throw it on rice.
So I do want to ask the kids, your least favorite meal that I cook?
It's the Trim Healthy Mama's lasagna.
Oh, really?
That's the least favorite thing
I
that I
never
cook.
wanted to say
You
it.
used to like that, though.
No, I didn't. I pretended to like it.
I really like the Trim Healthy Mama lasagna.
I
It's
don't,
so good.
because that's...
It's a pasta-free
It
lasagna.
just looks like it's...
Noodleless.
If it does not have enough ketchup on it, meatloaf.
Mommy's meatloaf? You don't like... We just had that for dinner tonight. I think it's pretty good, actually. I really like the meatloaf. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed our question and answer.
Comment below on maybe what some of your favorite dishes that your mom made or your parents made, and what your least favorite meals were. And if you have any Disney memories or favorite attractions, comment below and let us know.
Okay, and if you're watching and you're my mom, maybe you should put the recipe for the chicken roll-ups below.
I can.
You could, but it'd be funnier if Mom commented.
Yeah, Susan, give us the recipe.
So Mom, comment on the recipe to chicken roll-ups, and then, for all those others who want to try the recipe, just add extra cheese. It's amazing. Anyway, thank you
Thanks
for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.